A Chicago police officer is charged with using his badge to buy weapons to smuggle into Mexico.
America, we just uncovered a story that's going to make your blood boil. A Chicago police officer, someone who was sworn an oath to protect and serve, has been federally indicted for using his badge to traffic weapons straight to the hands of the Mexican cartel. Kevin Rodriguez was buying AR-15s and handguns across state lines, lying on federal paperwork and getting paid thousands of dollars through Zelle transfers. But here's the kicker. This corrupt cop had 9 misconduct complaints in 2019, and the Chicago Police Department kept him on the force.
The indictment named Chicago police officer Kevin Rodriguez and an accomplice, Diego Valdez, charging the duo for conspiring to unlawfully purchase firearms that were ultimately smuggled into Mexico.
What is up, guys? Tyson DeLaCruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This is exactly the kind of corruption that destroys trust in law enforcement and puts weapons directly into the hands of the cartels terrorizing our border. This is the same cartels flooding our streets with fentanyl and trafficking humans. Let me break down this absolutely insane scheme for you. According to the 9-page federal indictment, Officer Kevin Rodriguez was driving to Dyer, Indiana to purchase AR-15 style assault rifles, then to Mooney to buy a handgun, weapons that regular Illinois citizens can't even legally purchase.
A 9-page federal indictment unsealed Tuesday in federal court accuses Kevin Rodriguez of using his position as a Chicago police officer to purchase an AR-15 style assault rifle in Dyer, Indiana, and a handgun in Moni.
But Rodriguez wasn't buying these weapons for himself. He was acting as a straw purchaser for his accomplice, Diego Valdez, who was identifying specific weapons he wanted, then paying Rodriguez to buy them. This is a federal crime, folks. Lying on ATF paperwork by claiming you're the actual buyer when you're really purchasing it for someone else.
Prosecutors allege Rodriguez lied on federal paperwork, saying he was the actual buyer of the firearms, all in an effort to purchase guns which are not available to ordinary citizens under Illinois law. Instead, prosecutors say Rodriguez purchased them for Diego Valdez.
The money trail is damning. Valdez was sending thousands of dollars on Zelle transfers to Rodriguez in exchange for these illegal purchases. We're talking about $2,600 just from what we know. And where did these weapons end up? 2 months after the transaction, Valdez smuggled them straight into Mexico.
Prosecutors say CPD officer Kevin Rodriguez used his credentials to buy an assault weapon in Indiana and a handgun in Moni. He then gave those weapons to his accomplice, Diego Valdez, who paid him $2,600 on Zelle. Valdez later sold those weapons in Mexico.
Now, here's what really ticks me off about this whole situation. This wasn't a good cop who suddenly went bad. Kevin Rodriguez has been the subject of at least nine misconduct complaints since joining the Chicago PD in 2019. That's more than one complaint a year. One of those complaints was for improper pursuit of a suspect in 2022. You know what his punishment was? A 4-day suspension. 4 days. Meanwhile, this man is out here trafficking weapons to Mexican cartels and making thousands of dollars doing it.
One of those complaints stemming from improper pursuit of a suspect in 2022, resulting in a 4-day suspension.
This is exactly what I mean when I talk about police unions and departments protecting people who shouldn't even be wearing a badge. How do you have 9 misconduct complaints in 5 years and still have police powers? How does someone with this track record still have access to purchase weapons using police credentials? Let's talk about what this really means for America and Chicago. While we're dealing with the border crisis, the fentanyl epidemic, and the cartel violence, we have corrupt Chicago cops literally arming the same cartel organization. These weapons didn't just disappear into Mexico. They likely ended up in the hands of cartels that terrorize border communities and smuggle drugs into American cities.
There's a reason why these guns are limited in circulation or for sale. There's a reason why a Chicago police officer can use his status only for appropriate purposes. He's abusing that here.
Think about this. Rodriguez was using his position as Chicago PD, a Chicago police officer, to circumvent Illinois laws that regular citizens have to follow, but apparently don't apply to corrupt cops looking to make a quick buck. He was literally using his badge as a tool for a criminal enterprise. The federal prosecutor got it exactly right when he said Rodriguez was abusing his status for inappropriate purposes. This goes beyond just one corrupt cop. This exposes systematic failure in how police departments departments handle misconduct and accountability. So what's the Chicago Police Department's response to all this? They put a statement saying they have no tolerance for criminal actions and that Rodriguez was placed on no pay status. But here's my question. If they have no tolerance, why is this man still employed after 9 misconduct complaints?
In response to his indictment, Chicago police say Rodriguez was immediately placed on no pay status, but that his police powers were suspended on July 3rd. The statement from CPD also reads, "The Chicago Police Department has no tolerance for criminal actions by any of our members."
They also said the alleged actions of this one police officer do not represent the life-saving work being done by our department. And you know what? They're right about that, because most cops are good people trying to do a difficult job. But stories like this are exactly why good cops get bad reputation.
The alleged actions of this one police officer do not represent the life-saving work being done by our department.
But here's what really gets me. Both Rodriguez and Valdez pled not guilty and were released from custody. Released. If you or I got caught trafficking weapons to Mexican cartels, do you think we'd be going home that same day? Heck no, we'd be sitting in a cell waiting for trial.
Both Rodriguez and Valdez pleaded not guilty and were released.
This case perfectly illustrates everything wrong with how they handle police misconduct in Chicago. You have a pattern of complaints, minimal consequences, then escalation to federal crimes. This didn't happen overnight. This was a progression that could have been stopped if there was real accountability along the way.
We're seeing, again, if true, a conduct that's more serious than anything I'm sure he's been accused of before.
The prosecutor is right. This is more serious than anything Rodriguez has been accused of before. But that's exactly the point. When you don't hold people accountable for smaller infractions, they escalate to bigger crimes. A 4-day suspension for inappropriate pursuit becomes federal weapons trafficking. And let's be honest about what this really represents. This is a Chicago police officer actively contributing to violence and chaos at our border. While border agents are risking their lives to stop cartel operations, we have corrupt cops in Chicago literally arming these same cartels. America, this story isn't just about one corrupt cop. It's about a system that fails to hold bad actors accountable until it's too late. 9 misconduct complaints should have been a red flag. Multiple violations should have resulted in termination, not a 4-day suspension. We can't have police officers using their badges to traffic weapons to Mexican cartels while good cops are out here risking their lives every day. This destroys the trust in law enforcement and literally arms our enemies. The solution, in my opinion, is simple. Real consequences for misconduct, zero tolerance for corruption, and accountability on every level. When someone violates their oath and betrays public trust, especially the point of arming cartels, they need to face the full weight of the law. Rodriguez and Valdez should be in jail awaiting trial, not walking free. The Chicago Police Department should be explaining how someone with 9 complaints stayed on the force. And we all should be demanding better from the people we trust to protect and serve our communities. This is exactly why we need strong leadership that will clean house in our law enforcement agencies and hold corrupt officials accountable. Because when cops become criminals, everyone suffers, except the cartels getting armed by badge-wearing traffickers. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.